Thanks, Jim. Good evening. Tracy, would you lead us in prayer?
Precious and holy God, we thank you for this time to be together with one another. God, please bless us as we meet this evening and honor you and your will. Please be with everyone here tonight, and it's in Jesus' holy name that we pray. Amen.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call the December 6, 2021 Board of Aldermen meeting to order. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Brandy Carroll,
Here.
Kim Vickers,
Here.
Jim Shroud,
Here.
Kelly Netto,
Here.
Jeremy Taylor,
Here.
Brad Alexander, and Mayor Dana Webb.
Here. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is new business deletions or continuances. We do not have any of those this evening, so we will move on to the next item, which is public comments. City Clerk, do we have any public comments this evening?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. We will move on to the next item, which is the consent agenda. These items are considered on the consent agenda so that members of the Board of Aldermen, by unanimous consent, can designate routine items to be approved by one motion. Tonight, we have the approval of the November 15th, 2021 Board of Aldermen meeting minutes and expenditures through December 2nd, 2021.
I make a motion.
Oh, go for it.
You go.
No, you go.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We do not have any of that this evening, so we will move on to new business. The first item is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a request from Jana Scarsborough to have the 11th Annual Audrey Griffin Memorial 5K and 10K Run Walk on Saturday, June 18th, 2022. Who's reporting for that?
I will.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kim.
This is just the annual request from Jana. She is working in conjunction with the Oak Grove Athletic Booster Club each year and having the memorial run for her grandmother. She's here this evening if you have any questions. The route is in your packet.
You're Jana, right? It's very detailed, very nice. Thank you. Yeah. Does the board have any questions for Jana?
I make a motion, we approve the request for the annual Audrey Griffin Memorial 5K, 10K Run Walk on Saturday, June 18th, 2022.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 11th Annual Audrey Griffin Memorial 5K and 10K Run and Walk. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a presentation by the Oak Grove Chamber. Is that you, Shayla? All right.
It's me tonight. I'm going to apologize. Megan Timothy was supposed to do the presentation. She is sick, so she sends her, or I'm sorry, Logan and then the child is sick, so she sends her apologies for not being here. I do know the presentation well. The cards, you'll have to bear with me.
Okay.
So this is a presentation for the 2022 partnership, which is what we're doing. But first, I'd like to thank you, Mayor, and the board for allowing the festival to happen. The flexibility with you all was wonderful, and then the electricity as well. And then we'd obviously like to thank Chief. Without you, that would not have been possible. It is for this reason and many others that we come before you tonight to request a partnership renewal with you guys. So I'll skip to newly appointed or again appointed director. So we serve as the liaison between the city and both new and established businesses. We build a solid networking foundation for its members to utilize. We open doors of opportunity for established and prospective business and help grow. And then engage in philanthropic events for the community, benefiting the community. So the chamber in 2020, on the heels of 2019, the chamber was growing. The pandemic of 2020, obviously, we came to a screeching halt. We had to close the doors, lay myself off, minimize all expenses to stay viable. 2020 was a year to refocus. So benefits of joining the chamber, 5x5 chamber member window cling, the opportunity to promote your business at community events such as Taste of Country, Ginder Scholarship Golf Tournament, and our newly rebranded Fall Festival, which is looks so like days. We have 30 plus networking opportunities per year, obviously ribbon cuttings, or ground-based drinking for new businesses, and then discounts on vendor spaces at events hosted by the local chamber of commerce. To the right on this slide, you'll see the new items that were added, strictly by the board. So these are things that they have put into place and then will also be put into motion going into 2022. So exclusive member highlight video on social media for new members, ability to earn free advertising for the 2022 year, the free monthly luncheons, that is a new thing. We have thrived on that aspect of it. Recognition in all chamber print media and the rewards program is also something new. With the 2021 membership renewal, we were able to begin reinvesting back into the chamber. Obviously, rehiring myself was imperative. All right, guys, skipping along here. I'm gonna have you go ahead and skip the slide. So I'll just quickly go over financials. The 2019 income, you'll see that 5,030 was where we were at. In 2020, the ending balance was $5,120. As we were moving into 2021, again, the board did a phenomenal job with raising those funds. We were at $21,971.12, left us at a net income of $15,264.84. These numbers are without Taste of Country, which has been our most profitable event to date. Obviously, we didn't have that, but we have thrived in that aspect. And then I'll have you skip to the next slide. So the financial projection, moving into 2022, our starting bank balance, $15,798.88. Membership, we project 25,000. The banquet made $791 in 2021. For 2022, our goal is 1,500. Taste of Country 2019, 8,000. 2022 goal, 13,500. And again, you'll see those comparisons for Lit Skillet 2021, 15,000. Again, these are all numbers that have beat out every year prior. We have not been this successful, period, across the board. So 2022 goal is 22,000. Panther Golf Classic 2021, we made 9,000. 2022 goal is 15. So our projected net for 2022 is 30,000 after payroll and zero. So this is a big thing for us, why we want to grow financially. So obviously, seeing those numbers at 30,000, what do we want to do with that? So we'd like to have a full-time employee, obviously, and myself, and then we'd like to grow, right? We can compare ourselves, or we'd like to compare ourselves to surrounding chambers. To have a brick and mortar is something that we'd like to see happen again, and be able for the community to have somewhere to go. We'd also like to better serve the community and businesses. More income allows for more growth and networking opportunities, and it also makes it more appealing to businesses to come to our city knowing that they have a secure support system and the resources. So I'll go over, why does this partnership serve you? We provide resources to the the businesses in community of Oak Grove, which provide aid for the growth of local businesses, as well as the retention of businesses within our community. Pamphlets is something that we've done, but we're trying to kick that up again and make them better. So how to start a business, Tracy and Megan have done an excellent job. Obviously, they've started businesses here in town. So they're working together to we're all working together, but they have created a how-to, and we'd like to put that into play as far as how these guys can start their own business. Very detailed. And then business chamber guide. We'd like to put important contact info, alderman info, chamber info. And a new thing that we'd like to put into play is boss meetings. So, business owner sharing solutions, providing businesses with the tools to succeed. We would hold an event quarterly, networking, social media, and other speakers as needed and requested by the city and businesses. I'm taking that. Small business events, member and non-member, these cards aren't working for me, sorry, I can follow along. Small business events. So we're obviously not just about fundraising, right? These are all things and tools that we want to provide the businesses in Oak Grove to thrive. We do not want to just raise funds for fundraising purposes. But these small business events allow those small businesses to thrive and get out and market. And then director serves as liaison, so obviously myself serving not just the chamber and the board, but you all as well. We have examples of that and examples if we need them moving forward. So events are not solely a fundraiser for the chamber, as I mentioned. Events allow local communities to participate, market, sell, and ultimately thrive within the community. Events allow the community to engage with the local businesses, chamber of commerce, and the city of Oak Grove. We'd like to look into adding a Thanksgiving food drive in the city. That's something that we do not have that we think is a need. And then this partnership allows for us to unify the city chamber, which allows for transparency within the community. Oak Grove Main Street, I know has been brought up prior to my past employment with the chamber. That was something that was in talks. I know before Teresa had mentioned when she was an employee that I would love to be a part of. Obviously, that's a decision for you all, but that's something that I think can I assist with, and the Chamber of Commerce assist with. So that's a conversation as well. So finally, we come to the dollar amount. So before I get to that point, I do. Sorry, guys. Again, still in the last minute. So I want to say, ultimately, this allows the city to be a sponsor and participate in every chamber event held in the city. As far as before we get to the dollar amount, this partnership and further solidifies that Oak Grove is one giant family of support, which is one of the most attractive qualities for prospective business. So ultimately, that's why we call it a partnership, right? We should be unified. That I will not mumble. It's important to us as a chamber and a board, and I think it's important to the town. I grew up here. My kids go here, and I think the city, it's important. There's a lot of, to me, there's a lot of misconception. You know, we get calls all the time asking about whether or not, you know, city things, you know, and we would love to be a part of that and unified. They think we're the city, and I think that's important to be solidified in that aspect. So before I put my foot in my mouth, I'm just gonna say, this partnership, the platinum membership, it's a $5,000 ticket. It includes the membership dues, $3,000 main event with skillet sponsorship, $35.50 in advertising, $500 banquet table sponsor, luncheon sponsor, $250 exclusive year-round recognition on chamber website, and premier recognition on event flyers and social media platforms.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I apologize for
You don't have to apologize. I want to say, I mean, I think you guys have done a great job. You know, you've come from COVID, being shut down, not being able to do anything, losing you, and then coming back, and I think you've done an outstanding job, and then I see how you're thriving in the city now, so I just want to say that to you, that you guys have done great. And I think it's vitally important to have a good, thriving chamber in a town, so I'm excited that, looking at your presentation, excited for what the future has for the Chamber of Oak Grove.
Me too.
Yeah. Does the board have any questions for Shayla or any, looks like they have a whole tribe here tonight? Yeah. Are these officers? Can you introduce them?
Emily Knox, newly appointed. We're excited to have her on.
Nice.
Very excited to be here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are we making a motion to?
Well, so the way this works is that we've already done the budget, so there's a few things you guys can do. Somebody can make a motion, you can not make a motion, you can make a motion to direct it back to city staff, saying that you do want to do the $5,000 membership. You can do, help me, Matt, an amendment to the budget, but you can add it into the budget. You don't have to say all that, I'm just giving you guys ideas of things you can do. Or you can put whatever verbiage you want to that. Matt, you want to add to that? Did I cover all
No,
of
I
it?
think that covers it, Mayor. We had in the past a public service agreement with the chamber. That was not renewed this year. And so if the board would like staff to pursue an agreement, the motion could be made to direct staff to work with the chamber to bring back an agreement at a future date for the board to review.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to have city staff bring a agreement back to do the platinum membership.
I second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to direct city staff to bring back an agreement between the chamber and the board for the $5,000 platinum membership. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you all for being here this evening. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding an ordinance approving a polling place contract with Jackson County Board of Election Commissioners and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement. Mr. Randall, is that you?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
So as you mentioned, before the board tonight is an ordinance approving an agreement with Jackson County Election Board and the City of Oak Grove to use this facility, in particular this room, for elections for the upcoming year. That includes the potential elections on February of 2022, April 2022, August, November, as well as February of 2023.
Thank you.
Is this a new polling place or replacing somewhere?
So they used this facility once last year with COVID, and I think that was in combination with the school district and the gymnasium. I am not sure if they are still going to use the combination of the two or just come here. They also, as these elections come up, they may or may not use that particular date. You know, if there's nothing on that particular election,
yeah,
then they
yeah.
might not come. But I think they're wanting to get all the future elections lined out, get the facility approved, and they also then come on site, look at the facility, and make sure that it'll work. Then, you know, tables and chairs and number of volunteers and things like that.
So it's an ordinance. I'm looking for,
Make a motion for first and second reading by title only.
Second.
we have a motion and a second for the first and reading of the proposed ordinance by title only. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, would you please read the full bill 2 times?
An ordinance approving a polling place contract with the Jackson County Board of Election Commissioners and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement. An ordinance approving a polling place contract with the Jackson County Board of Election Commissioners and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement.
Make a motion to approve first and second reading and for adoption.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of the ordinance. Any discussion? City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Randy Carroll,
Yes.
Kim Vickers,
Yes.
Jim Stroud,
Yes.
Kelly Netto,
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor.
Yes.
The motion is approved and the ordinance is adopted. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding an agreement between, is it Lexipol, Chief? Okay, and the City of Oak Grove and local government administration policy manual and training bulletins authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement. Chief, do you have a report on that? Oh,
Mayor, that
coming back
should
to
be
you?
over here.
Okay,
Yes. So
all right.
Lexipol has traditionally provided training bulletins and manuals, best practices for police departments. They've recently expanded those services to include general government employees. So before the board tonight is agreement with Lexipol to provide software services for the implementation, as well as legal review and policy recommendations for best practices for an updated employee manual, as well as trainings. This would be a multi-month process. While Lexipol would look at our current employee manual, they would compare that and review that to applicable federal laws to make sure that our employee manual is up to date as it needs to be, as well as recommended best practices. Those would be reviewed by department heads and reviewed by me, and then at a future meeting, that updated manual would be brought back to the board for review and approval. The cost of this, there is a one-time implementation cost of about $600 to $800, and then an annual subscription fee of about $2,600. Lexipol actually has an agreement with our insurance company, Midwest Public Risk, so we billed by NPR for this service. And because NPR recognizes the value of having an up-to-date and, having an employee manual that is reviewed annually and looked at, loss control credits through NPR can be utilized for this. We currently have about $4,000 in loss control credits that could be used to help offset the implementation costs for this project. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you, Mr. Randall. Does the board have any questions? I think it's the middle one. Somebody turn the middle one off, pretty please, to the podium. I think that's where it's coming from.
Is it off already?
Maybe not.
I make a motion that we approve using Lexipol and for the government administration policy manual and daily training bulletins.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Lexipol policy manual and daily training bulletins. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing regarding an application for a conditional use permit for a pole sign requested by Cohen Construction, applicant for property located at 603 Southwest First Street, Oak Grove, Missouri, Nationwide Trailers. Mr. Randall, is that you again? Yes.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So before the board tonight is a conditional use permit for a pole sign. Pole signs are only allowed in certain areas and under certain conditions within the city of Oak Grove. One of those is that it has to be within 500 feet of the right-of-way of Interstate 7. The proposed sign is within that boundary. The other criteria is that pole signs are required to have a approved conditional use permit. So the conditional use permit requires public notification, a public hearing, and an ordinance approving the use of that pole sign with conditions. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the pole sign with the condition that the permit is only effective for 10 years, at which point it would need to be brought back for renewal. As part of the permitting process, a bond is also required in case the sign ever needs to be removed because it's no longer permitted, or if the sign becomes, say, dangerous or needs to be removed because it becomes a public nuisance. Under the code, the maximum allowable sign for a pole sign is 150 square feet. This pole sign is about 145 square feet. So it does fit the parameters of a pole sign. It is within the required area for a pole sign, which is at 500 feet from Interstate 70. And the only other condition would be that, again, that public hearing process neighboring property owners were notified via mail. There's also a posting on site as well as published in the newspaper. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board may have regarding the pole sign for nationwide trailers. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
make a motion that we approve,
Oh, hold on, I can't do that. I gotta have a public hearing first. So right now, I just need to know if any of you guys have questions that would only go directly to just city staff. You're okay.
That's okay. Not offended.
Do any of you have any questions for city staff? Okay. Members of the public who wish to testify on behalf of the conditional use permit for the pole sign at Nationwide Trailers, please step to the microphone now. Please state your name and any comments you have. I now open the public hearing. There are no public comments. I will now close the public hearing.
Now, I make an emotion that we approve the application for the conditional use permit for a pole sign for Cohen Construction Services.
Can I try it?
Yeah.
It's ordinance.
No.
Make a
let me do
motion.
it.
Okay.
Oh my
Then
gosh.
start all over
Is it the
then.
ordinance?
Yes.
I make a motion,
It's right on your piece of paper.
I'm preparing.
Okay.
I move for first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only.
We have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second for the reading of the proposed ordinance by title only. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
An ordinance.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I forgot to move it.
City Clerk, would you please read the full bill 2 times?
An ordinance approving a conditional use permit for Nationwide Trailers for a pole sign at 603 Southwest First Street, Oak Grove, Missouri. An ordinance approving a conditional use permit for Nationwide Trailers for a pole sign at 603 Southwest First Street, Oak Grove, Missouri.
I move for adoption of the proposed ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of the ordinance. Any discussion? City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Randy Carroll,
Yes.
Kim Vickers,
Yes.
Jim Shroud,
Yes.
Kelly Netto,
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor.
Yes.
Motion is approved and the ordinance is adopted.
Whew, that was hard.
The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding an ordinance amending the annual budget for the year beginning of January 1st, 2021 and ending December 31st, 2021. Mr. Randall.
Thank you, Mayor. So this ordinance is to amend the 2021 budget to account for the refinancing of the 2012 certificates of participation. Both the water and sewer funds revenue and expenditures will need to be adjusted, and this is to account for the bond refinancing. So this would be for both the bond proceeds that we'll receive this month, as well as the bond redemption costs, which will be expended at the end of this month as well. As presented to the board at the last meeting when this was approved, the refinancing may save up to $700,000 over the next 10 years. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have on the budget amendment for 2021. Thank you.
Thank you.
I move for first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only. Any discussion?
This is just for what you're just saying, but like, if we're gonna amend it for the, like, we'll just do an amendment if we add the $5,000 in later for the other.
Yeah, so that will probably be an amendment for next year's budget for 2022. So when we bring back an agreement, that'll probably be in the first or second meeting in January
Okay,
for that, and then we'll,
I was just curious.
Sure.
Carry on.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, would you please read the full bill 2 times?
An ordinance amending the annual budget for the year beginning on January 1, 2021, and ending on December 31st, 2021. An ordinance amending the annual budget for the year beginning on January 1, 2021, and ending on December 31, 2021.
I move for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of the ordinance. Any discussion? City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Randy Carroll.
Yes.
Kim Vickers.
Yes.
Jim Shroud.
Yes.
Kelly Netto.
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor.
Yes.
Motion is approved and the ordinance is adopted. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2022, and funds pursuit thereto. It's you again, right?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So this is an ordinance to adopt the budget for 2022 as presented at the board meeting and budget workshop that was held on November 15th, including the allocation of $135,000 for park improvements to be identified and approved at a later date. The all funds budget for 2022 is $13,504,179. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's where my question should have went, was on this one,
It's okay.
but that's what I meant
Yeah.
for. Okay.
I move for first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, would you please read the full bill 2 times?
An ordinance adopting an annual budget for the fiscal year beginning on January 1, 2022, and appropriating funds pursuant thereto. An ordinance adopting an annual budget for the fiscal year beginning on January 1, 2022, and appropriating funds pursuant thereto.
I move for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of the ordinance. Any discussion? City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Randy Carroll.
Yes.
Kim Vickers.
Yes.
Jim Shroud.
Yes.
Kelly Netto.
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor.
Yes.
Motion is approved and the ordinance is adopted. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding rescheduling Board of Aldermen meetings in 2022 that fall on observed holidays. Is that you? Yeah.
And in the packet is the schedule of the holidays that we currently observe and rescheduling the board meetings to the Tuesday after the holiday.
I have a question on that. When we do that, are we also looking that we make sure that then we move like Park Board and move all meetings all the way down? Okay,
Yes, so the planning and zoning would be
perfect. Thank you.
I make a motion that we approve rescheduling Board of Aldermen meetings in 2022 that fall on city-observed holidays.
Second.
I have a motion and 3 seconds, Kim, for the proposed rescheduling of 2022 observed holidays that fall on Board of Aldermen meetings. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. It's time for informational reports. Mr. Randall, do you have one?
No, thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Williams? No report. All right, thank you. Mr. Sherwood?
No report, thank you, Mayor.
All right. Chief?
For this week, I'm looking forward to the fact that I will be attending the first Shop with a Hero. Melissa Pitts has worked very hard to put that together. We will be benefiting 20 different families with their children, and the sponsors from too many to list tonight, but Walmart, the Holiday Inn Express, our towing service. We're looking forward to a great evening and to be able to help them with the shopping and then the wrapping and a pizza party afterwards. So going to be a great night for Thursday evening.
Nice, thank you. Brian, you just want me to skip over you, right? Okay, report? Do you have a report? Okay. Kim, do you have a report?
I do. I just want to piggyback on Chief. I enjoy wrapping presents with the kids for Shop with the Hero. It is a great event. Another way to show community fellowship. So I just want to do a quick rundown for Saturday's Spirit of Christmas event. It was wonderful to see everybody at Breakfast with Santa in the Winter Wonderland. I just wanted to thank St. Jude's Church for preparing the breakfast. We had 14 vendors who participated. I want to mention the sponsors who helped make this event possible for the kids. A. Thompson RV Service Center, Barton Hall and Schneiders, Bird Automotive, Commercial Bank, Farmers Insurance, Tom Cottrell, Toy Supply, Oak Grove Chiropractic, Rach the Realtor, Sally's Propane, and finally State Farm Jeff Jennings.
Nice.
There were 47 entries in the parade, and the new route to City Hall worked out very well, I believe. She said not too many faux pas there. We did have trophies for first, second, and third place, CSL Stars, and Scrapyard Eatery and Pub. Mayor's Christmas tree lighting ceremony was very well attended. The weather was great. I think everyone enjoyed themselves. I want to thank the school districts, teachers, and students for their participation, Cooper's Trailers, for the stage, the police department, public works, park department, city staff, numerous volunteers, and also the community for their support for the event. I think everybody is ready to get back out and celebrate the traditions that they're used to. So be sure to mark your calendar for next year. First Saturday in December, we'll do the Spirit of Christmas.
Great. That's all right, go ahead.
Tomorrow is the and December the 17th will be the Christmas luncheon from 12 to 1:30 at the field house.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim.
Do you have a time on the luncheon yet? You literally just said those words.
Yeah.
Like, they just came out of your mouth.
And, yeah, if I could only announce how many times you remind people.
So it's at noon?
Friday.
I'll be gone.
Yeah. Can you put it on record, Kim? She emails, texts, calls, emails, texts, calls. I mean, put that out there.
Mayor, I would just like to add to that. Kim is probably too humble, but she did a ton of work to make Saturday what it was.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's, she hadn't come up here
Oh,
yet.
I know,
I
but
know.
I
She-
but
Yeah.
your role. Come on now.
she did a ton of work for that.
You said no report.
Well, yes, but
Can't backtrack.
You can't
she,
do this.
just want to recognize her
Yeah,
publicly here for the-
absolutely.
the work
We'll just
that
do it
she
right
did
now.
on that.
Kim, you did a great job. We'll clap for you.
Literally, I was sitting here thinking, I hope
You can do it
say
again.
anything, because that's what I was going to say. But
Kim, do you have any other information for the board members of upcoming events, or you'll just call them, right?
Thursday night, be sure to
Shop for the Hero.
shop at the Hero.
Yep.
Holiday Inn, we wrap the presents, I think.
Yeah, Holiday Inn is where we're wrapping.
that is different. Yeah.
I mean, we'll meet at Walmart, and then the wrapping is at Holiday.
Are you going to
There you go. Very good. Thank you.
I love that. Usually we do it at Walmart, and it's so crowded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that?
Okay.
What time?
very good. Scott, do you have a report?
Just short, I think Mike 6 is the one that's malfunctioning, so we'll let Rob know and look into that.
Thank you.
Other than that, we'll help Kim next year on some fine tuning some things with the sound system and things like that for the Christmas parade, and we'll continue to make it better, so.
Thank you. Kim, do you have a report?
I have no report.
Kelly?
No, because Matt stole mine, but whatever. I do have a question on Thursday. What time? Be at Walmart at 6 p.m.? Okay. No.
All right. Jim, do you have a report?
No report.
Jeremy?
No report.
Randy?
Are you going to wear your superhero costume?
Sure, whatever you want.
Okay,
Okay.
then I'll be there.
All right. Are you done?
That's it.
All right. I would like to thank city staff and everybody for a great day on Saturday. It was awesome. Yeah, it was very well attended. Winter Wonderland was great. Sometimes I wish we could change that because it's really hard to say Winter Wonderland, but it was great. The parade was really good. I did like the longer route. Yes, we ran out of candy. We're all going to bring extra next year. It was really good. There was also, earlier in the day, Wild Souls. I attended that, had a shop with a conservationist. That was really a well-attended event, huge. So there was just a lot of things going on in the city. So all of city staff did phenomenal. Thank you so much for everything you did. Really appreciate it. And we will all be, hopefully, at Shop with a Hero. Yeah, and at the luncheon.
I have one more thing. I just want to say that we are all thinking and praying for Brad
Yes.
and wishing him good health and healing, and hopefully he'll return back to us soon.
Yes, thank you very much for that. I am looking for a motion.
Make a motion.
Yep. Thank
Make a
you.
motion, we adjourn to executive session under 610.021, 1 and 2.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn to executive session 610.021, 1 and 2. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Roll call.
Oh, yeah, sorry, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
I was excited to move on. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Randy Carroll,
Yes.
Kim Vickers. Here. Jim Schrapp,
Yes, here. Yes.
Yes.
Our first meeting? Yes.
We're all new here.
This is our first time.
We are adjourned to executive session.
Goodness.
It's all right.